Welcome to Faith International Ministries. My name is Nicola Kelly. This is my husband.
I'm Patrick Kelly, and this is your channel for faith, motivation, and
Inspiration.
Listen, we're in the midst of a series from a sermon that I preached some time ago from 2 Kings chapter 7 on 4 lepers who were instrumental in bringing deliverance to a city that was under siege to the point where famine had set in. We've learned 2 lessons already in this series. The lesson of potential. They were lepers, the last, the least, and the lost, if you will, but yet they still had potential. And we learned, don't let anybody pigeonhole you or tell you what you cannot do, because regardless of our difficulties, we all have potential. And then the previous video, or the last video, was a lesson of positioning. They were seated at the gate, the entrance to the city, and we learned from that oftentimes we are positioned where we need to be, and maybe we need to adjust our perspective to see that we can be positioned to be able to springboard or step forward into whatever it is that we want to aspire or achieve. So we learned the lesson of positioning, and today we're going to listen to the lesson of planning. Awesome. It's important to have a plan.
Yes.
Planning is valuable to get us from point A to point B. And so let's take a listen to what these lepers did, and then we'll come back and talk about the lesson of planning.
Verse 3, why are we sitting here until we die? If we say we will enter the city, the famine is in the city, and we shall die there. If we sit here, we shall die also. Now therefore come. Let us surrender to the army of the Syrians. If they keep us alive, we shall live, and if they kill us, we shall only die. This is the lesson of planning, because these men begin to question their reality. They begin to take stock of their lives. They begin to examine all of the various scenarios, because they realize if we don't do anything, we are going to die. So they begin to plan, and planning always begins with questions. Why should we sit here? What is the eventual outcome of not doing anything? Is this our only option? There are times in life, brothers and sisters, where we have to take stock of ourselves, and we have to examine and analyze. Where are we? Where are we going? Where are we in proximity to our ultimate objectives and goals? Those of you that work in the business sector, you understand something that's called SWOT analysis, where you come together as a group, perhaps as a team, or what have you. You begin to assess the situation. You look at your strengths and the weaknesses, and you identify opportunities and any potential threats. And based upon all of the information, you begin to formulate a plan and develop a strategy to get you from where you are to where you need to be. And so maybe there are times when we need to do a SWOT analysis of our lives. Where am I headed? Where do I want to be 2 years from now, 5 years from now, 10 years from now? If I remain in this same situation, is it going to move me forward, or is it going to hinder me? We got to analyze ourselves, and we've got to come up with a plan. This is what is going on in the text as they're asking questions and probing the potential and the possibilities. They said, if we stay here, we will die. If all we do is stay at the gate, nobody's coming in. And even if they have money, there's no food to buy. So it makes absolutely no sense for us to stay here if we're not going to resign ourselves to ultimate death. So then the other option is to go into the city then. If we go into the city, well, the famine is in the city. There's death in the city. There's no food in the city. Is there any other option? Is there any other possibilities? Well, we could go to the Syrians. They have food. They have provisions. They have resources. And they could kill us. But we are really no threat to the Syrians. We're 4 lepers. We're outcasts. We live on the edges of society. We are dependent upon the goodwill of others. So we may pluck on their heartstrings, and they may decide to help us rather than kill us. So when we examine all of the potential scenarios, the greatest possibility of survival is to leave death at the gate, leave death in the city, and go to the Syrians. That sounds like a good plan to me. And there are times in our lives, brothers and sisters, where we've got to go through all the various scenarios and examine all of the options and come up with a plan and a strategy to move from where we are to where we need to be. And as believers, we want to make sure that we are engaging our plan with the help and the grace of God. Proverbs 16 and verse 3, Solomon says it this way: "Commit your work to the Lord, and your plans will be established." Commit your work to the Lord, and your plans will be established. In other words, I want to make sure that what I'm doing has the approval, has the assistance of God. But we've got to have a plan. So again, the question, what's the plan? Look at your neighbor and ask him, what is the plan?
Wow.
Awesome.
What an awesome lesson about the value of planning. These lepers that really didn't have a whole lot of options in front of them, but they were smart enough to assess and to adapt. And we learn that in life, as we plan and as we aspire, sometimes things don't turn out the way that we want them to.
They sure don't.
But do we scrap our plans?
No.
No, we go back to the drawing board, we assess where we are, and we determine where are the potentials, where are the possibilities,
Right.
What are the pitfalls, certainly,
Right.
but then we put all of that together and we map out a fresh strategy, get a fresh idea of where we want to go and how we want to accomplish what we want to
Correct.
accomplish. That is the lesson of planning. And so the great question is, how's your plan working? You know, we all begin the year with ideas and plans of what we want to accomplish, but it doesn't take too long before things happen. Life happens, as they say. Sometimes
Correct.
our plans get derailed. Do we
Correct.
give up?
No.
No. Sit down, reassess, make whatever course corrections we need to make, come up with a new plan, a new strategy perhaps, or a different way to operate if the goal is still in front of us. And if we engage our plan and execute our plan, and with the help of God, because we need God in our planning,
We
don't
certainly
we?
do.
Steps of a good man, the Bible says,
Are ordered
ordered by the Lord. So God will guide us and direct us, but we've got to have
a plan.
a plan.
And I would encourage you, get a journal, a book, something, and write down your plans. Present them before the Lord.
Pray about it.
Pray about it,
Yeah.
definitely.
Yeah.
And watch what God will do when you do that.
Yeah. Something powerful happens when we commit to paper the plans from our minds.
Correct.
Something psychological happens that it motivates us and inspires us to fulfill them, to accomplish them when you can see them written out. So good advice.
Yes, and they say that we retain 80% of what we write down, what we visualize, what we
Wow.
see.
Wow.
So it is important to write them.
Write your plan down and execute your plan. Listen, hope you enjoyed this. If you like it, share it, hopefully. Subscribe to this channel. We want to grow it. We've got more exciting and engaging content as we move forward. We'd love for you to be a part of the Faith International family. So subscribe to the channel, be a part of what we're doing, and we look forward to great times in front of us. Thanks again for watching. Look out for the next video. Until then, this is Patrick Kelly
And this is Nicola Kelly. Don't forget to write your plan out this week and click that little notification button.
bye.
God bless.